lost. I don't know what to do with my life. I don't feel like I have a purpose. I just feel so lost. I don't know where to go or what to do and how I should conduct myself and how I should live my life. I'm just so lost and ignorant and stuff. But there seems to be a group of people that think they know what I should do with my life. Maybe I should go and communicate and talk to them. There's so many different groups of people that believe that they have all the answers. These different groups of people, cults of people, these different cults, these different religions. These different religions are religions, cults, I don't know about that, but they're very similar. Maybe I should consider these different religions and cults and groups of people. They might have the answers to my problems. Now, Small Sonic, why do you feel lost? Don't you know what to do with your life, Small Sonic? Surely you have your goals and you have your plans and stuff that you've made already a couple days ago, maybe, or months ago. I don't know. You typically don't complain about being lost and not feeling like you have a purpose. What's going on, Small Sonic? I don't know, Big Sonic. I just feel so lost. I don't know what to do anymore. I just feel lost. I don't feel like I have any great existential purpose to follow. I just feel so nihilistic and meaning. I just feel like my life is empty and meaningless. I just don't know what to do. And you want to join some type of cult? Why would you want to join some type of cult? How would that fix this type of problem? I don't know. Maybe a bunch of other people might know what to do with my life. I don't know. Maybe they might have all the answers to my problems. I don't know. I don't know how they would have all the answers to my problems, but maybe they might have all the answers to my problems. So you want to join a cult or a religion just so you don't feel lost. Okay. Yes, pretty much that's the case, but I don't know, I'm not too sure. These other groups of people, they might know how I should live my life and what I should do with my life and etc. and stuff. They surely have the answers to all of my problems. I don't know. I just don't feel like I have any great existential purpose and stuff. I just don't know what to do with my life. And so you want to join a cult or a religion or something similar. You want to have other people give you these answers and stuff. Well, not other people necessarily. I mean, these cults and these other the religions. I mean, they're not the people, like, they just follow holy scriptures and a holy book. I just have to read the holy scriptures and holy books, and maybe I might find some meaningful insights and stuff. But how would that solve your problems? Maybe that there are holy scriptures that these different cults follow and have, and these different religions have. Maybe their holy scriptures might have something that I need to follow and stuff. I don't know. Maybe their holy scriptures might solve my existential crises and they might have answers to my problems. I don't know. I just don't know. But Small Sonic, these cults and these religions and whatever and these large groups of people, surely you know that they aren't you. They don't know where you're coming from. They don't know what your problems are. How can you possibly rely on them for any type of personal comforting and stuff and something like that? I don't know. How can you let them answer your problems? I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know. I just feel lost. I don't feel like I have any type of great existential purpose. So I need to go and join these different types of cults and or religions, I mean, and stuff. And maybe these religions, they might have some type of answers to my problems. There's so many religions to follow. I don't know which one to choose, man. I'm getting so lost. I'm losing my mind. Well, surely there are a lot of different religions and cults as well. I mean, and I don't know, you can just kind of check their scriptures and stuff and check what they claim and check what they have to say and stuff, and surely you can kind of figure out which one works the best for you and which one's the most truthful. I don't know. Okay, Big Sonic, I'm gonna go and check out all the different religions around this area and stuff and see all the different people that belong to these religions and see what they have to say. Maybe they might be able to solve my existential crisis and maybe they might give me some type of meaning and purpose to follow. I don't know. Okay, Small Sonic, good luck. Okay, Big Sonic, thanks for your contributions to this discussion again. And good luck to you as well, my friend. I don't know. Which religion is true? Alright, now this video is going to be about which religion is true. The topic of this video is about which religion is true and now. This is a very, very, very important question. This is a very important question, right? Which religion is true and stuff. And this is it's very hard to answer this type of question, right? Which religion is true and stuff. But you know, what we can do to make this a lot easier is that we can just look at all the different major world religions, because I'm not going to discuss like no name, like these little nonsense religions, these small religions that are kind of irrelevant and only a couple hundred people follow them. I'm not going to discuss these little weird obscure religions that might be found around the world. I'm not going to discuss these tiny little obscure religions that are found around the world. I'm not going to discuss those religions. You know, maybe you might like have some type of obscure religion that I didn't really critique properly in this video. But the reason I didn't critique that weird obscure religion is because it's not worth my time, because it's too irrelevant and obscure and stuff, and nobody really would even consider it proper. I mean, maybe some people might find some interest in that obscure religion that you know about, but I don't know. I think a lot of people might not even care about it. This like when I'm discussing which religion is true, I'm going to only be discussing the major world religions and stuff like that. Okay, so what are first of all, what are the major world religions? You know, the Abrahamic faiths, right? Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, the Abrahamic faiths, and obviously, and then you also have like, really, if we're just talking about the major world religions, you only have the Abrahamic faiths, and then perhaps maybe you have Sikhism, which is kind of a little bit obscure as well. It's not really even that much. It's not really a major world religion, and only people in this subcontinent in South Asia, only like people in that territory kind of follow it. And Sikhism's kind of a little bit, I don't know, it's somewhat obscure as well and stuff. So is that really a major world religion? I don't know. And obviously, other than Sikhism, you got Hinduism, and that's, again, is that really a major world religion? Because it's predominantly a religion. It's predominantly a religion that's only like it's a religion that's only really popular in India and South Asia and stuff like that, and then the neighboring countries around India and stuff like that. And, you know, like Pakistan maybe a little bit there, and Afghanistan maybe, I don't know. In like Hinduism is it really a major world religion? Really, only Indians seem to care about that religion, and so like so far because we're talking about the major world religions, I discussed the Abrahamic faiths and I discussed Sikhism, which is, I mean, Sikhism is not really a major world religion, is it? But I mean, I don't know. And then you got Hinduism. Is that a major, that only Indians follow that type of religion? Is that major? I don't know. And then what else? What other major world religions are there? There aren't really any other major world religions. That's kind of weird. You just have the Abrahamic faiths and Hinduism. I don't believe Sikhism's really actually. I'll take Hinduism off. I don't know. It's not really. Is that a major world religion? If only like a small minority of people in India follow it, I don't know. And then so you got Sikhism, Hinduism, and obviously people are going to be kind of like they're going to be kind of disappointed if I don't mention Buddhism. And Buddhism's so tricky, because I believe Buddhism is not really even, you can sort of see it more like a philosophy, but it's kind of, I don't know. I'll also get to discussing Buddhism as well. So yeah, you know, the major world religions. So you got the Abrahamic faiths, maybe Sikhism, although again I would maybe scratch it off the list, because it's like Sikhism only like Indians follow it, like Punjabi people follow that type of religion in India and South Asia, and no one else follows that type of religion. And then you got Hinduism, which is, I mean, Hinduism is like, again, only Indians care about it. And I wonder if Hinduism's even that important in India anymore. I believe maybe it's becoming like kind of irrelevant now in India. I don't know about which really, like, if Hinduism even has any major impact in India anymore and stuff. But you know, that's another major world religion. Because really, is it a world religion if it's only like popular in India? I don't know. And then you have Buddhism and stuff. Buddhism is kind of, which is it's very hard to define it as like, I mean, for me it would be very hard to properly define it, Buddhism, just as a religion. It could also be considered a philosophy and other things. I know it's wishy-washy, and I know some people do like maybe like kind of worship the Buddha. I don't know. Is Buddhism really a religion, or is it more of a philosophy? If you're a Buddhist, do you worship some particular deity? No, you don't. It's kind of, I don't know. Do Buddhists worship a particular deity? I don't know. I know Buddhists, they honor the Buddha and stuff. Did they worship him? I don't know. I mean, some people probably might. I don't know. But that's why I wouldn't consider Buddhism even like a religion, because what deity do the Buddhists pray to and stuff? I don't know. it's like a philosophy and stuff, in my opinion. I don't know, but the Buddhists, they don't pray to any, what deity do they pray to? Maybe like maybe Buddhism, if like some like branches of Buddhism might be influenced by Hinduism and stuff, and they might be praying to the Hindu deities. I don't know. That's why I would consider Buddhism not even a religion, because do the Buddhists, do they pray to any particular deity? I don't know about that. So that's why I wouldn't even consider Buddhism really a religion and stuff, because the Buddhists, do they pray to a deity? I don't believe so. It's more like a philosophy, in my opinion, but I don't know. But anyway, getting back to the topic at hand, right? This video is like about which religion is true, and obviously I'm going to be only discussing the major world religion. So again, any obscure, weird religion that's found in like some small part of the world, I'm not going to be talking about that in this video because it's irrelevant. It's not worth my time. So which religion is true? I'm going to only be discussing the major world religions. So first of all, the Abrahamic faiths: Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Islam, Christianity. Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Christianity. Okay, so out of these Abrahamic faiths, out of these religions, right, the Abrahamic faiths, which religion within the Abrahamic faith is true? And this is kind of very difficult. It's very difficult to answer this question, but from my study of the careful study of the Bible, because let's just firstly begin by critiquing Christianity. So from my personal study of the Bible, I mean, the Bible has contradictions in it. Very demonstrably true. You can go on to Google and type in Bible contradictions, and you can get like a long list of contradictions in the Bible. There's so many different examples, right, that I can give you. Like, first of all, Jesus has 2 different genealogies in the Gospels. That's like something that you can do some research about. Jesus has 2 different genealogies in the Gospels. Do some research on that. So Christianity, I mean, out of the Abrahamic faiths, I believe that Christianity is probably the most invalid, because of the fact that the Bible has contradictions, and that's demonstrably true. And if you want like more like a more like precise and careful and thorough like explanation of this, you can there's a person I would like advise you not to consider you. I'm being stupid with my words now. I would advise you to to check out this guy and to do some research on this guy called Bart D. Ehrman, B-A-R-T, Bart, and then D, the letter D, and then I keep messing up on his last name. I can't properly remember his last name. Is it E-R-H-M-A-N? I don't know, it should be on the screen now. Bart D. Ehrman, do some research on this guy. I just spelled his name out for you. You should be able to research about him and read his books and literature. He just demolishes Christian theology. So out of the Abrahamic faiths, Christianity is invalid, in my opinion. It is. The Bible has contradictions. That's demonstrably true. Again, in the Gospels, Jesus has 2 different genealogies. That's one of the easiest examples to use. So out of the Abrahamic faiths, Christianity, in my opinion, is invalid. Judaism's not really even worth a lot of time, because Judaism, the Hebrew Bible, the Torah, the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, whatever, it's kind of basically it sort of is like the Old Testament of all. There might be some differences, I don't know. I mean, if we're looking at Judaism, like it's not even really a major. It's not even a major world religion. It's really it's such a it sort of is like a religion only meant for the Jewish people and stuff like that. If I mean Jewish people, like can anyone become a Jew? I don't know. Are Jews really their own like racial group and stuff? I don't know. But Judaism, I mean, the Torah I know there might be some contradictions in the Old Testament, in the Hebrew Bible, which the Old Testament would be the Hebrew Bible, so the Tanakh, the Torah, and stuff like that, and whatever. So Judaism, because the Hebrew, because the Tanakh is the Old Testament, and the Old Testament, we know that there are contradictions in the Bible. I would consider Judaism to also be invalid. And again, Bart D. Ehrman, just as he demolishes Christian theology, I believe that he also kind of somewhat wrecks Jewish theology, Judaism as well. So because the Bible has contradictions and the Tanakh is the Old Testament to some extent, I know there might be a couple differences between the Old Testament and the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible and stuff, but I know there are a lot of similarities as well. I believe there are contradictions in the Old Testament, in the Tanakh, Hebrew Bible. So because of that, and you can do some research on this, just type it in to Google contradictions in the Old Testament, or you can type in the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh, whatever you like. You should be able to find some like contradictions, like websites that kind of detail out all the contradictions in the Old Testament, in the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh. And because of the fact that there are contradictions in the Old Testament, the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, I would consider Judaism to be invalid. So out of the Abrahamic faith so far, I consider Christianity to be invalid. I consider Judaism to be invalid because Judaism
the Tanakh is the Old Testament, and we know for a fact that the Old Testament has contradictions. And I know obviously there might be a couple differences between the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, and the Old Testament, but they're similar to a lot, to such a large extent. So I don't know. And also, the Hebrew Bible and stuff like that, the Tanakh, we don't have any manuscripts of the Hebrew Bible that can be dated all the way to the time of the so-called biblical prophets, Abraham, Moses, and stuff like this. We don't have any manuscripts of the Hebrew Bible, of the Torah, of the Tanakh, of the Hebrew Bible that can be linked to any of these people that are mentioned in the Bible. The oldest manuscripts of the Hebrew Bible, they only go to the medieval period and maybe a little bit further back, but nothing exactly to the time when Abraham or Moses was claimed to be alive and stuff. So I don't know. So far, so out of the Abrahamic faiths, I consider Christianity to be invalid, and I consider Judaism to be invalid, because the Bible and the Old Testament, which is the Tanakh Hebrew Bible as well, has contradictions. That's not good enough. So, and this is demonstrable, and you can go again. Bart D. Ehrman can help you out with this, and go read through his literature and his books. You should do that. And so out of the Abrahamic faiths, I consider Christianity to be invalid because the Bible has contradictions. Judaism to be invalid because the Bible, the Old Testament, is the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, to some extent. And obviously, there could be a couple of differences, but because of that, I consider Judaism also to be invalid. And what's left out of the Abrahamic faith, Islam. Now, to my knowledge, I don't believe the Quran has any type of contradictions, major contradictions, and you could kind of do some research on this, and if you can try and prove me wrong and show me some examples of the contradictions in the Quran. I don't believe that the Quran has any contradictions. So out of the Abrahamic faith, Islam is on top, in my opinion, because the Quran doesn't have any demonstrable contradictions in it. That's very miraculous, because it is actually very miraculous, because supposedly Muhammad was illiterate, he didn't know how to read or write, if he was just some kind of like if he was just some kind of malevolent person and he just made up the Quran to control people, why the Quran would have contained innumerable contradictions. But it's kind of bizarre to me that the Quran doesn't have any major contradictions like the Bible, and obviously the Old Testament and the Tanakh and Hebrew Bible as well, which is kind of weird to me. It is, which can I, out of the Abrahamic faith, this is why I would consider Islam to be somewhat kind of the truth. Maybe obviously Islam there are like a lot of problems with Islamic theology, and there are a lot of questionable things in the hadiths. And a lot of people don't like the fact that Muhammad engaged with Aisha when she was very young, so he's like a pedophile. But out of the Abrahamic faiths, Christianity, Bible has contradictions. The Judaism, the Old Testament, which is the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, has contradictions. So those two religions are kind of invalidated out of the Abrahamic faith, and what's left is Islam. And I believe Islam sort of is out of the Abrahamic faith. I believe Islam comes out on top because the Quran doesn't have any contradictions. And if you disagree, you can kind of post like the contradictions in the comment section of this video. I don't know. Try and prove me wrong. But just because obviously, what other than contradictions? But surely Islam, there was a lot of stupid stuff mentioned in the Quran and the Hadith and stuff. Okay. I believe there was some guy called Maurice Bucaille, some French. I don't know if he was particularly French or whatever. He kind of he was trying to scientifically understand the Quran and the Bible and stuff like that. He was comparing everything and kind of testing the scientific knowledge found in the Quran and the Bible and stuff. And he from his perspective, he felt that the Quran was somewhat up to date. There was no like scientific blunders in the Quran and stuff like that. And in fact, there are some things I mentioned in the Quran that kind of match our modern scientific data, which is kind of very interesting. He talks about the embryo, the development of the human embryo, and the Quran talks about this as well, and it's kind of very interesting. And this guy called Maurice Bucaille, French guy called Maurice Bucaille, he kind of, because of the fact that the Quran doesn't have any scientific blunders, he kind of thought that it was somewhat miraculous because the Bible has. And Maurice Bucaille also critiqued. He also read the Bible a lot and stuff like that, and he analyzed the Bible as well as the Quran. And he said that the Bible is a lot more. It's more stupid because there are so many different problems wrong with the Bible. There are so many different blunders, scientific blunders, historical blunders in the Bible, and because of this, he just leaned towards Islam. And obviously, I don't know. Maurice Bucaille is someone else you should kind of consider doing some research about. I don't know, but anyway, out of the Abrahamic faiths, Christianity, Judaism is those two religions are invalid because the Bible, the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible as well, and the Tanakh, they have these religious scriptures have contradictions. The text of the holy scriptures of these religions, Christianity and Judaism, have contradictions. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. So these two, so out of the Abrahamic faith, Christianity and Islam, I've kind of sort of invalidated those two religions, and now we have, the only thing that's left is Islam. And again, to my knowledge, maybe to my very limited knowledge, and I don't believe the Quran has any contradictions, but you can try and prove me wrong, I don't know. Obviously there are some problems in the hadiths and stuff, and Muhammad did something with Aisha when she was young, and that's kind of a problem, I don't know. But to my knowledge, Islam seems to come out on top when we're discussing the Abrahamic faith, and I can't really invalidate Islam in any major way, in any major regard, because the Quran doesn't have contradictions. So that's why, in my opinion, out of the Abrahamic faith, I believe Islam comes out on top. It could be considered true. It could be considered like true in that way. I don't know, but still, whether or not Islamic theology is actually true is kind of, whether or not Allah, the deity, exists out there, or angels and demons exist and stuff like this, that's a different discussion. But the Quran doesn't have any contradictions to my knowledge, so that's why out of the Abrahamic faith, I would consider Islam to come out on top, because Christianity and Judaism, the Bible, the Hebrew, and the Old Testament, which is the Hebrew Bible, and the Tanakh to some extent. Obviously, there might be some differences, but you know, the holy scriptures for Christianity and Judaism have contradictions. That's not good enough. So those are the Abrahamic faith. So out of the Abrahamic faith, Islam comes out on top. I believe Christianity and Judaism is. I did invalidate those two. Those, like, you can invalidate those two religions. I did that because I kind of demonstrated to you that there are contradictions in the Bible, in the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh, blah 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 blah. You do some research about this. Actually do some thorough research about this. But anyway, I don't want to waste too much time on this. So out of the Abrahamic faith, Islam comes out on top, because the Bible has contradictions. Not just the Bible, the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh. Obviously, there could be some differences between the Hebrew Bible, Tanakh, and the Old Testament. But I don't know. They're very similar to a large extent. So anyway, that's why I would consider Christianity and Judaism to be wrong, and why Islam is kind of a lot more believable and truthful. But you can do your own research about this. And again, I highly recommend you check out and research about someone called Bart Ehrman, Bart and then D and then Erhman. I might have misspelled his last name, but it should be on the screen. And also Maurice Bucaille. I'm not even going to try and attempt to spell this guy's name. It's very difficult. It should be on the screen. Maurice Bucaille. Do some research on these guys. And again, so quick summary, out of the Abrahamic faith, Christianity and Judaism is invalid, and Islam seems to be more believable and truthful. That's it, just from my knowledge and research. And now what's left? What about the other world religions? I've kind of discussed the Abrahamic faith. What about the other world religions? What other world religions are there? We only have really Sikhism, Hinduism, and Buddhism left. Sikhism, I'm not really too familiar with Sikhism, to be honest. I don't know. Sikhism, they believe in gurus and stuff like this. I don't know. They believe in gurus and stuff, and they have like they believe in gurus and stuff and whatever, and they believe in like Guru Nanak and stuff. I don't know. Blah blah blah. I'm not really too familiar with Sikhism and stuff. To me, I don't believe that Sikhism is very believable, though. I don't know what Sikhism. I don't believe it. I don't think it's very believable, in my opinion. I don't believe it's very believable, because there's like I don't know. Is Sikhism? No, I know they have the holy scripture. They should have like some type of holy scriptures and text. I didn't really do too much research on Sikhism. Guru Nanak. I just don't believe I don't think it's very believable. But that's up to you to decide. And Sikhism, I don't even believe that the Sikhs they claim their religion to be the ultimate truth. Unlike the Abrahamic faiths do this. Like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, they claim to be the ultimate truth. They're the only religions that are true. I don't believe Sikhism does this. I don't know. And Sikhism's you can see it as being more like a philosophy as well. I don't know. It's very difficult for me to kind of properly discuss Sikhism because I didn't do research. But the Guru Nanak, I don't know, wasn't he born? Nah, I don't know too much about Sikhism. I just don't think it's very believable. It's not really even a major world religion, so I'm not even going to waste too much time on Sikhism. I don't know, I just don't think it's very believable. That's the same thing with Hinduism. The Hindu deities and stuff like that. The Hindu deities, like Hinduism, is it a pagan religion? I think so. The Hindu deities, I don't know. There's no reason to believe they exist. There's no reason to even believe that Hinduism is true to any regard. And obviously you could just see Hinduism as being like a philosophy now. I don't know. I believe that's what a lot of modern Indian people see Hinduism as. They just see it more like they interpret it more as a philosophy. Now I believe that a lot of Indians are more atheistic and agnostic. They don't really believe in Hinduism to such a large, I don't know, to such a Damn! My GoPro Hero 9 got too hot and it turned off. My GoPro Hero 9 got too hot and it turned off. Anyway. So yeah, I believe Indian people, I don't believe they really, like a lot of modern Indian people and Hindus and stuff like that, I don't believe they really genuinely believe in like Hinduism anymore. I believe a lot of modern Indian people and Hindus and stuff like this, they're more agnostic, they're more atheistic and stuff. They kind of just, they philosophically understand Hinduism, if you know what I mean. They kind of see Hinduism more as like a philosophy, not really as a actual religion. They don't really believe, like I believe a lot of modern Indian people don't really even believe in like the Hindu deities, that they're actually real entities controlling our world and stuff anymore. I believe that the majority of most modern Indians and Hindus and stuff like that, I believe they're more again atheistic, agnostic, and they understand Hinduism in a more philosophical way, not in a, like a very literal way, as in like they believe in like that the Hindu deities are actually real. They're up there and they're controlling our world and stuff like this. It's just nonsense. That's nonsense. In my opinion, I believe that a lot of modern Indians and Hindus and stuff, Indian people and Hindu people and stuff like that, they're more agnostic, atheistic. They understand Hinduism in a more philosophical way. Maybe I might be wrong. Maybe there are a lot of Indian people that believe in the Hindu deities and stuff like this. They don't just interpret Hinduism as like some type of philosophy. They actually genuinely believe in the Hindu deities. I don't know. From my very limited understanding on Hinduism and to a smaller extent Sikhism as well, I don't believe these these dharmic religions, these like religions are kind of only popular in India, Hinduism and Sikhism. I don't believe they're very believable if you analyze their texts and holy scriptures and stuff. But that's just me and my opinion. I don't believe there's any good reason to believe that the Hindu deities are real and stuff like that. You look, we can kind of look around the world. You don't see like the Hindu deities anywhere, right? I don't know. That's why I wouldn't really consider Hinduism to be valid and stuff. I don't even think Hinduism is very believable. Obviously, there is like a lot of, you can kind of, I don't know, look into Hinduism for yourself, see what you find. You might see some type of value in Hinduism. You might be able to see some type of philosophical value in Hinduism, because it can be seen as like a philosophy as well. I don't know. Not just if you don't want to be like very literal with Hinduism, if you don't want to believe that there are like some type of the Hindu deities are out there controlling our world, if you don't want to believe in that, okay. I don't know. Hinduism and Sikhism, I don't want to waste too much time on them. These religions, Sikhism is not really, it's only for Punjabi people in India, and it's not, I don't know, Sikhism, it's not very believable, I don't know. You can do some of your own personal studying and research on Sikhism and Hinduism as well. I don't believe it's very believable. Look around the world. Do you see the Hindu deities in our world? No, you don't. Do you feel their presence? No, you don't. So Hinduism, it's not very believable. I don't really consider it to be believable, and I don't want to waste too much time on it. It's kind of invalid in my opinion. There's no good reason to assume that the Hindu deities are real, that they're controlling our world and planet. So Hinduism's kind of, if you want to see it as a philosophy, I don't know. But if you want to be very literal and stuff, I don't believe Hinduism is true in any way, in any meaningful way and stuff. I don't believe that the Hindu deities are actually real and they're controlling our world, or that Hindu theology is true and stuff. I believe this kind of nonsense. so far, out of the, which religion is true? So in terms of like the major world religions, so far I discussed the Abrahamic faiths. And out of the Abrahamic faiths, I believe Islam comes out on top. And then the other world religions, so far I've discussed is, Hinduism and Sikhism and these religions, and Sikhism, Hinduism, these religions, I don't know, they're not very believable. And Sikhism is only for Punjabi people in India anyway, so I don't know. And what's left? Buddhism. Again, Buddhism, what deity do the Buddhists pray to? I don't believe Buddhism should even really be considered a religion. I believe it's like more of a philosophy. So I can't even waste too much time on Buddhism. And that's about it. So yeah, in my opinion, out of the Abrahamic faiths, Islam comes out on top, and Sikhism, Buddhism, not Buddhism, Sikhism and Hinduism is not that believable in my opinion. There's no good reason to believe that the Hindu deities are real, and Sikhism again is only for Punjabi people in India and stuff, I don't know. And that's it. And then Buddhism's shouldn't even be considered a religion. What deity do the Buddhists pray to and stuff? They don't pray to any deity, I believe, I don't know. They don't pray to any deity, I believe. The Buddhists, I don't believe that they pray to any type of deity. So that's that. And that's that. And so that's it. Yeah, man, think about everything I've said in this video very carefully. Which religion is true? And I'm only discussing the major world religions, so the Abrahamic faiths. And out of the Abrahamic faiths, I believe Islam comes out on top, because the Quran doesn't have contradictions. The Bible, the Hebrew Bible, which is the Old Testament, the Tanakh is the Old Testament. To some extent, obviously, there could be some differences. It has contradictions. The Bible has contradictions. So Christianity and Judaism, you can invalidate those two religions And then and what's left out of the Abrahamic faith is just Islam, and I don't believe the Quran has any type of major contradictions. So you can see Islam coming out on top in that way and stuff. And so that's the Abrahamic faith. And Sikhism, Hinduism is not very believable. Sikhism is only for Punjabi people in India and stuff. And to my knowledge, I don't know. Maybe the Guru Nanak, maybe he had some type of wisdom to share. I don't know. You can do some research on Hindu Sikhism yourself. I don't really believe Sikhism is that kind of important in my opinion. I don't know. So really only meant for Punjabi people in India. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And then you have Hinduism. I don't believe that there are any good reasons to believe that the Hindu deities are out there controlling our world. They're real. They're out there. They're influencing our politics and stuff. I don't believe that the Hindu deities are real. There's no good reason to believe that they're real. So Hinduism's kind of in that way is kind of nonsense. In my opinion, I believe Hinduism is just not believable at all. And is that it? No. And Buddhism, I don't believe Buddhism should even be considered a religion. Buddhism, the Buddhists, what deity do they pray to? Do they pray to any deity? I don't believe so. I don't think so. The Buddhists, I don't believe they pray to any particular deity. So Buddhism shouldn't even be considered a religion. Obviously, there could be there's different branches of Buddhism, and some Buddhists might honor some type of figure that's, I don't know, prophetic or something. I don't know. And they might worship something like that. I don't know. They might worship someone or something. I don't know. Some branches of Buddhism that might be kind of getting mixed with Hinduism. That might be getting tangled with Hinduism. I don't know. They might be worshiping Hindu deities. Some Buddhists might worship Hindu deities. I don't know. But in my opinion, I believe that most Buddhists, they don't pray to any particular deity. So Buddhism is not even a religion. It's more of a philosophy. And in that way, Buddhism's it's kind of beautiful in that way. I don't know. But it's more of a philosophy, and that's about it. And so, which religion is true so far? Out of the Abrahamic faiths, Islam comes out on top. Is Christianity and Judaism is it's not believable because the Bible, the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, the Tanakh has contradictions. I don't want to waste too much time. I'm kind of going over the same points. And then Sikhism is only for Punjabi people in India. Hinduism, there is no good reason to believe that the Hindu deities are real. So Hinduism is not believable. It's kind of sort of nonsense in my opinion, and that's it. And then Buddhism is not even really a religion because what deity do the Buddhists pray to? Okay, that's about it. That's it. I don't want to waste too much time on this video. That's it. Which religion is true? I don't know, but I know that Christianity and Judaism is nonsense. Sikhism is only for Punjabi people in India. I don't know. Hinduism's kind of nonsense, and Buddhism's not even really a religion. It's like a philosophy, and that's about it.